When you start to do the background, you want to use short, neat strokes, and you want to use a variety of the colors that you have in the foreground. If you want to bring in an additional color into the background, you want to make sure that somewhere in the foreground you bring that color into it. So sometimes I don't wait until I'm done with everything to start working on the background. I kind of want to work on it at the same time. So I'm starting to bring in some of these colors, and I used a lot of this purple in areas so far in the foreground, and so I'm starting to build this up and layer it into my background. Now I don't want to see little overlapping areas, so I need to make sure to smooth that out. But by using really short, neat strokes and going back and forth and working on it using different directions and going back over it with other colors and layering this up slowly, it will start to smooth those out. Now I can get really thick in the background, or I can have more of the background color kind of coming through a little bit. In this case I used like a cream colored page, and I'm not going to get as thick in the background as I do in the foreground. Oftentimes I will choose to go just as thick in the background as I did in the foreground. So it kind of depends on what the look is that you're going for. But one of the most important things is that I use multiple colors in the background. I'm not just coming in and laying in one color. I want this to be really rich, and I don't want it to look flat, so I'm laying up many colors. It's important that you continue to keep sharpening your pencil as you're doing this. Notice I'm using some purples and kind of a yellow. They're complementary colors, so that'll kind of tone things down and make certain areas a little bit darker. Your background does not have to stay the exact same value through the entire thing, and you can have certain colors kind of popping out more. So you can have fun with it and kind of play with that. But your background should enhance and not take away. You definitely don't want there to be like white or colored gaps depending on like the color of your paper. So for example, if you're using a red piece of paper, you don't want to see like a little red edge around whatever it is that you drew. You want to cover it up. So build it up. And bringing some of this orange in, that I have some of those same oranges in the skin tone so far, it works. Now I'm going to work a little bit more into the hair. So I'm just coming in and adding a little bit more detail up in here. Because I had thinned this out a little bit, I could add more layers, and I'll continue to keep doing this as I work to finish this drawing. And then I'm going to come in and start to work on some of the main parts of the face. I'm working on some of these details in the hair. And it's okay to kind of jump around and work through these areas and continue to add a little bit more. As long as you keep your pencil real sharp, you can still add to it. Now I'm coming in and starting on some of like the little details that are closest to me in the face. So she's made out of yarn, and so in this, especially in like this front part, I'm going to have to really define around and draw in all of these little details. So it's important to draw it exactly how you see it and get all the blending in each little area. Then continue to work around the page to finish your drawing.